Warning. The following broadcast of the broadcast has been together 5 more indicated members of the mediocre chart of the mediocre chart rating pop contains swearing. We apologise if all opinions are our own. All opinions are our own.
If you're wondering what that noise is,
we're in a spaceship.
We're in a fucking... I wish I was in a spaceship.
On the way to an asteroid.
Where did you see that?
Yeah. Well, I could be completely wrong here, but like I was watching the footage, and the footage is outstanding. Whatever the fact I'm looking at an asteroid, that far away, and it's that clear. That's moving.
The closer it got, the clearer the image.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I never saw an impact though. Like I watched it a couple of times, and I couldn't. Maybe I was looking at the wrong thing, but I couldn't see anything hit the asteroid. I'm sure it did. I'm not telling NASA they're wrong.
The camera was on the thing though, wasn't it?
Or was it?
Yeah, the camera's on the front of the...
Oh.
He's on the front of the dart, is it called?
The dart, yeah, that's it.
So you're not supposed to would do, unless there was a cameraman.
Was it Phil Taylor? Phil Taylor threw it.
Filming it next to it. Like, here it comes.
Yep. There you go. In one. Should have done that when it landed, shouldn't they?
When it hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Humble special prize.
Yeah. The Earth is not going to be destroyed. Yeah, it was. We're talking about the asteroid. When they fired it, NASA fired the
deflection thing.
An asteroid, proper Armageddon, deep impact kind of stuff, But it looked incredible. The footage. Go and look at it.
It is amazing. Yeah. Somebody posted a funny picture in somebody put a status up about it. A picture of Wile E. Coyote's thing like that.
Oh really? Yeah.
There's a picture of the impact.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah.
Amazing work. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is the Massive Wagons Bin It Together podcast.
Yes, we're digressing before we even started.
Well, I don't know. We can't help ourselves, can we? But we're here to talk about things we don't like.
Well,
we like NASA. We're not. That's not a subject. I think NASA do good work.
I don't want to get shot.
They do good stuff.
I don't get taken out.
But no, these are suggestions from you guys, listeners, our patrons, and people within the industry. They send in something they want to put in the bin, and we decide whether it ultimately goes in the bin or not.
Because we're the guardians of the bin.
The guardians of the bin, arbiters of taste.
Sat here in my fucking bobble hat.
Yeah.
Your free T-shirt.
You know what? This T-shirt, for the benefit of those listening on the podcast and not and can't see. I'm wearing a Mercury Riots T-shirt. This is a band that they played with us in Germany.
They did, brilliant.
And they were out of T-shirts of my size, so they gave me one. I'm pretty sure they'd used to mop up a spilt bottle of beer. So I put it on, and it was absolutely drenched. Anyway, freeze free.
Freeze free, yeah.
Yes, and we do apologise about those noises. We've
got an army of tap dancing ants on the roof.
In our top secret recording facility. It happens to be sandwiched between
a deodorant testing facility next door.
Yeah, and a Black and Decker repair shop.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. Our neighbours make a lot of noise.
You've been here all week, haven't you? And they've not been in.
No, really. No, I've been here for days. Not a noise. Turn the microphones on. And
it's all day.
It's terrible. So I apologise for that.
Marvellous.
I'll try and do what I can about the sound, but there we go. Right. Anyway, we're here to talk about things we don't like. Noisy neighbours.
Next door, they can go in the bin, can't they?
No, right. Here we go. Right. Okay.
All right.
First one up this week is from Dr Shane McKie. Or McKie. I need to really find out I really need to know how to pronounce your name. I'm going to go with Key. McKie. Shane McKie.
I've lost my key.
And, right.
Yep.
There's a hot topic.
Yep. Right.
Using phones to film gigs. Not pictures. Specifically mentions that. It's filming we're talking about here.
Filming, that's it, isn't it? I suppose the pictures are kind of we're going to decide whether it's all acceptable or not, but kind of more acceptable because you're just up there for a second, aren't you? You're not pissing anyone off you with 1 second. It's that prolonged.
Yeah, it's the arm up in the air.
It's the arm up. Excuse me, mate.
Everyone has to look at your screen. It's something that but this is a good one though because I know plenty of people that go, well, why can't I do that? I bought a ticket. There's no rules.
Yeah. It's a big. I've personally, from like a moral kind of personal point of view, I don't like telling people what they can and can't do, and I wouldn't like to be that guy. Like you got gigs, don't you? Now some gigs and they're like, you got to put your phone in the. You got to put your phone, lock your phone away. They take it off you, or
like a gun at a security. I don't know, some sort of like
an American
political
school.
conference. Yeah, American school.
Yeah, leave your 12 bore at the door.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
Yeah. So he makes his first point
Yeah.
on the specifics. Having to watch a gig while the person in front of me films the whole thing through a tiny phone screen. So yeah, this is the obvious one. It's
But
just
it's only if it's in front of your face. Only if it's why does it bother you? I don't do it, but that's because I'm sick of bands. To be honest, I see quite enough of them. I don't bother them.
This is it.
Is it annoying because they're doing it and it gets on your wick, or is it annoying because it's ruining your view?
Well,
of the show?
point number one. Basically, it's the pure physics of it. Someone is just holding their arm up and it's in the way.
Yeah, I get that.
So yeah, that's crap. I mean, it's become a thing now where it's so accepted, and half the people there are doing it. So you just do it yourself, and you think, well, I'm just one more person doing it. And then when you've got a sea of people doing it, it makes it hard to see out.
It's like everyone's got a really long, thin neck all of a sudden, haven't they?
Yeah, like War of the Worlds.
They're all
tripods.
Exactly, they're all a bit taller. Yeah, I get that. I get that it can be annoying, but then again, so can being stuck behind somebody who's really tall if you're.
No, well, but people.
You're small.
We can't help that.
You can't. It doesn't bother you.
It does bother me. You know what? I go to watch. I don't really go to watch as many gigs now, but when I did, I always put this like involuntary sort of stoop.
Oh yeah,
on,
right. Yeah.
You know, to sort of like hunch my shoulders, and then by the end of the night, my back is like killing.
Yeah.
One leg's like longer than the other because it's been like taking all my weight all night.
Yeah.
So I'm a conscious tall person.
Height shaming.
You're height shaming.
Height shaming.
You're
People.
heightist.
Is that a thing?
Right.
Go on then. What's the second point?
Point number two.
I kind of get his point, and I can understand that. But then again, you get people at shows put their hands in the air or wave their hands around or drinks in the air or
that's it. Yeah.
What's worse that never gets talked about, doesn't get talked about half as much as bloody phones, is you watch Glastonbury on telly.
Oh, the flags.
People with the flags.
Well, they've been banned from almost every festival
ridiculous.
going.
Have they? Right.
Well, not I say banned. They've discouraged. But Glastonbury, because it's such a thing. Oh, the Glastonbury flags, yeah. You know.
God.
No,
What about the Glastonbury ticket payers, yeah?
Your face then.
Yeah.
Utter contempt.
That's disgusting. It's not a tradition. It's not like a thing. They're not going to write a book about it. The Glastonbury flags.
They do.
What about the Glastonbury pissheads? Do
Glaston-
they not have as much rights as the Glastonbury flags?
Yeah, the Glastonbury special brew at 5 a.m. types.
Exactly. Fuck off.
I don't know, but I know. Yeah, and the flags. Well, that is ridiculous because you watch footage of Glastonbury and it is just like you think like people can't see.
Yeah, they cannot see.
People they can hear the didgeridoo, but they can't see him.
Oh dear, yeah. Maybe that's not bad. Maybe that's not a bad thing. No. We went to watch a didgeridoo guy. We caught in Lancaster Music Festival. It was never seen a dude play a didgeridoo live before.
The didgeridoo.
Didgeridoo fucking don't.
It takes number 2. It takes me away from the live experience. The contact between the artist and the audience is diminished. He's a well-spoken chap, is Shane.
Shane. I love Shane. He's isn't he? But now, right? What it takes away the connection between
the crowd.
The fact that somebody else is doing it, or the fact that that you're doing it, or you're. See what I don't get about sometimes. I don't understand whether it's people pissed off with other people doing it, or pissed off that 4 other people doing it.
Yeah.
How does it matter to you what someone else is doing?
Yes. Well, that's where this point is a little bit more about the kind of.
It does ruin
like
the connection, but it might not ruin the connection.
It's more about the philosophy behind it, isn't it? Really, this one. Yeah, I mean, does it bother you when you see people when you look out and you see our thousands of fans, and if a few of them have got their phones up, does it bother you at all?
What does bother me is the fact that it's going to be put on YouTube, and that 9 times out of 10, when you go back, when you're on YouTube, if you come across one of your videos, somebody's put it on with a phone.
The sound's dreadful.
The sound is awful, and generally you open your mouth and somebody next to that person is singing. And it sounds like you singing.
Yeah,
That's not me.
Yeah, well, again, hang on a minute. It's that point.
I remember a lot of people like Coverdale gets it in the neck, doesn't he? I mean, I like David Coverdale, and I think the guy's a fair age, and he has every right to perform. People want to go and see him, and The guy's a legend. He has done it. He has done it at a ridiculously high level. And all he gets is stick off people. You know, but when you're there, I've seen Whitesnake over the last few years. I don't even notice it. I don't listen for it. Maybe he's below par singing. I just enjoy the atmosphere in the band and the songs and everyone singing. And then you go online, you're sat at home and you're critiquing him through a phone recording on a YouTube channel, and it's like, it's not really fair, is it?
I think we touched on this on a previous episode, but it's kind of like, you know, it's when you've set your stall out doing what you do in the 80s when you're in your 20s or 30s or whatever, and then 30, 40 years later you're still having to shriek "Still of the Night Out," you know. You can't croon it out.
There's a saying that he's made a rod for his own back.
He has made a rod for his own back. Absolutely.
It's a solid gold rod.
Yeah, it's a
to be honest.
It's a rod that sits above his mantelpiece in his mansion in Beverly Hills or whatever. But right. You actually mentioned point number 3 then, inadvertently. The artist has to be careful when playing new material as it's guaranteed to be all over YouTube within minutes. Yeah,
that's it.
So,
and people pulling it apart.
Well, again, I will say this though, actually. It doesn't bother me to the point where I'm not that bothered, but there's been a couple of times over the last couple of months where there's been videos gone up of songs. And I've thought like, oh, well, that's not out yet,
Right.
Maybe. But then again, after a couple of weeks, it doesn't matter because the song is out. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's right. I mean, I've been to watch bands. Stephen Wilson is a prime example. That famously happy chap.
Stephen Sunshine Wilson.
Yeah, I know. He's got posters all over the venue. And security are obviously briefed on this.
It's like phone guy,
it's like no phones, no pictures, nothing. And I don't know. He doesn't really give a reason for that. I know historically he's always kind of. This is Stephen Wilson, the prog rock dude, and he was always against like iPods and things like that, and the kind of trivializing of music, miniaturizing everything. Packing 1,000 songs into a tiny device. It's like it's making it kind of worthless. Diminishing its worth, but when it comes to that, and they're very militant. I've never been to any gigs where it is so like you don't want to get your phone out to check the bloody time or anything like that.
One of these other. Yeah. Are the rest of the crowd on his side as well? Like,
it's a self-regulating thing, isn't it? Right. with that kind of crowd.
I suppose so. You go there, you know the rules, don't you?
Yeah. And and it's not a stand at the front in the mosh pit type gig anyway. But when we played with The Darkness, I know every night Justin Hawkins always used to call out people who were on the phones, didn't he?
He did.
Stop songs and go. Not in general. He didn't go like, will everyone put the phones away? He went to one person, took their phone off them. Yeah. And put it on stage or down his pants or something for the remainder of the gig.
I'm going to read you a funny little story here. This is going to apply. Sorry for going on my phone. We're old mate Dave Ling.
Oh yeah,
electric scooters. Don't like him. This is what this was his status the other day. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Nope.
In my decades as a gig goer, I've seen some crazy, inexplicable shit. But last night, watching a Send Me Unplugged and drummerless solo gig from Moody Blues singer Justin Hayward, something unbelievable happened. Hayward was singing a fragile song called The Western Sky at a volume so delicate the opening of a packet of crisps might have drowned out an important detail, when a guy 3 or 4 seats down took out his mobile phone and called a cab. With those around him up in arms, security was called, but still the bloke couldn't see what the fuss was about. These are words I never thought I would say, but incidents of this nature are fast driving my desire to attend concerts.
That's not
out of order, innit? That's grim, innit?
That more than anything shows you're a psycho, aren't you? Really, if you're not. If you're not aware of that, you've kind of you've got bigger issues. I think.
Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it? That's terrible. Yeah,
it's just a sign of a bigger type of person you are. But God, that is awful.
Right, the magic.
It would have been funnier if they had opened a pack of crisps or something, and then when everyone looked around at them, they go, "Oh, sorry, you want one?"
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but filming things because I don't know. It don't bother me. It don't bother me, to be honest. I think people can do what they want. Film stuff. I mean, what gets me more a little bit. Me and we took Lila to see down to London to watch the Frozen stage thing, and there was people there like no phones. Obviously, you don't have your recording the footage, and there's people sat there for the whole show like.
Surreptitiously
filming the whole thing, like
with the big
give it a fucking rest.
with the like briefcase on the lap, pointing at the stage.
Yeah. With a toddler next to them with a camera strategically like glued to the forehead.
Well, I don't know. Right.
Put it away.
Points 1 and 2 here. So, like, just having the obstruction there and also the ethics of that obstruction and what it means for the gig. Why can't people just wear, like, you know, like some forehead, like a head torch camera? GoPro, yeah, but on your head. And then what would be wrong with that? You know, like, you know, that's completely eliminating points 1 and 2.
If you want to film it, get your GoPro out, on a strap.
Only kind of works if you're tall, though, doesn't it, really?
Otherwise, film somebody's ass.
Film the back of someone. Well, yeah, someone's back.
Depending how small you are.
Someone's shoulders, and then you'd have to edit the bits out where you went for a piss and stuff like that. You know.
Well, it depends.
Went to the bar.
Depends, doesn't it?
Depends what kind of video you're making. But no, I think you're right. I think it has to be. There's nothing stopping any artists from politely asking people their attendance to not do it.
I mean, Justin. I mean, I know Justin called out those people, but it was like in a semi-annoyed, jovial way, in the way that he does things.
He's very good at that, isn't he?
But I don't know why it was bothering him so much, because it's got fuck all to do with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If somebody's got a phone out, they want to film a moment, then that's up to them, innit?
Yeah.
I don't feel it's my place to say put that fucking phone away.
No.
I would have quite
that's the difference.
expect a smack in the face.
That's probably you know that's it. Yeah. I would never presume to tell people
what to do
unless there was a specific reason. Say we were doing a closed private event and we had to request that. You know, that's different.
Rules,
that's different. But especially a big, loud, rowdy rock show.
Gives a fuck.
Does it matter?
Get your phones out. Next Darkness gig.
Get your willies out.
Get your phones
really,
out.
really annoy people.
Get your willies out.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to play with that smell.
God. But so and once you start telling people what they can't do, you know, I think you're in dodgy ground there. But then again, Shane's not saying that. He's just he's stating he doesn't like it, which is fine, you know. And if you feel like that, that's entirely right. But if it's got to go in the bin, it has to be fairly kind of concrete, really. It has to be.
Yeah.
We can't.
So sorry, Shane.
There's just too many ethical reasons why it would be. You don't want to start telling people what they can and can't do. That's what it boils down to, really.
Yeah.
When it's not hurting anyone.
Yeah, it's just a mild.
If you've got someone, I wouldn't hesitate to now. I would have 5 years ago, but now I'm getting old and grumpy. If someone was holding it up in front of my face all night, I would probably say at some point, I'd say, look, mate, can you move that, please?
Yeah, there is a degree to where you will put up with it, you know, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. Put it down.
Put it down.
So no,
put it away, lad.
Sorry, it's near going in.
Did people go with iPads and stuff? I've never really. I've seen it. I'm sure people have mentioned it. Imagine that.
Holding up the big Steven Spielberg 80s jobbers.
Yeah.
Over the shoulder. Big video.
You get the guys, don't you? And because I have got a couple myself, and there's a bloke goes round, and he does an amazing job. I've got myself some bootleg. Get some of the bootleg stuff from shows I've been to, and he has it like underneath his jacket, doesn't he? He has like some sort of concealed recording device.
Yeah, the audio bootleg thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's just audio. Yeah. And there's amazing quality. It's like you can't get that sort of quality when we're recording it straight through the desk. Sounds incredible.
Well, they do have a thing, don't they? Them olds like generally onto a tape or whatever, but it's like the roughness kind of like smooths out the harsh kind of transients and things.
Well, I often thought, again, changing it a little bit, you get the high definition tellies that came out a few years ago, and I always thought that was a bad thing because it just makes everything look bad. Because everything shows it shows up all the imperfections.
I know. There was actors and actresses were kind of up in arms a little bit about that. Sort of going, well.
I watched the movie in high definition. I was like, it just looks like it's made it look like a TV show, like a badly made TV show, because it's that crystal clear. It shows up. You know, there's nothing wrong with a coat hanger in the back of the telly, is there?
No.
The old Mr. Bean job.
In football, I remember the first time I saw sport, or tennis or something, with like the high frame rate thing.
Yeah.
And like, you never seen the ball move like that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's always like the way it works, like you're just getting sort of loads of pictures one after the other.
Yeah.
But when the pictures are much closer together, it's so smoother. You're like, oh my god, I can actually see the ball. You don't realise in football, like, well, a lot of the time you can't. They kick it, and then the next thing you see is in someone else's feet, or in the in row Z if you're a Liverpool fan.
Anyway.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, I think we've covered the entire time in that one.
Sorry, Shane. I don't know if we've come to the right conclusion there. I mean, I do get your points, but
sorry. Doctor, you may be, but shows that we don't always get it right, do we?
We don't always get it right. Let's have a look here. What have we got here?
Have we got a rapid fire one to finish off?
Yeah, I mean, getting like it's tough.
It is tough. We get a lot of suggestions for this, but a lot of the time it's hard to argue against them. Yeah. So, for example, of some of the ones we've had, middle lane drivers. That's just instant bin, isn't it? Because they can't
bin it.
There's no defending that.
Gareth sent that one. Gareth.
Did he?
Yeah.
Our Gareth.
Gareth, yeah.
Our Gareth.
Let's have a look here. Let's see what we can find. We've got a couple of Stephen. I get the impression Stephen. You can tell what Stephen. You can tell a lot from Stephen about Stephen's personality from these and what he does from these. Okay. Employers that try to act like your mate.
Yeah.
Is there something you want to tell us, Stephen? I'm not entirely sure. Black Friday sales. Come and buy shit no one wanted all year.
Not true. That's not true.
I've never been on a Black Friday. I've never been on a Black Friday. You know what? I think my anxiety. I don't really suffer with anxiety a lot, but my anxiety levels just go through the roof at the thought of Black Friday. It's just like all I can imagine. He's just being bashed around the head with a telly. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I can't do that.
A high definition telly.
I don't even like going shopping at the best of times, let alone when it's.
No, I'm talking about online generally. Like if there's something I want,
right.
and it's like, oh, now it's cheap. I
suppose so. Yeah, I'm old school though. I immediately go back to as soon as you mentioned Black Friday, there was like the memes that came out when this became a thing of like. Hitchins full of like angry people with giant telly boxes.
Yeah, it's an American thing as well. I'm sure it's been a thing in America for ages, and now it's like the UK have started doing it.
Right, queuing up outside and then running inside.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm leaving.
And then legging it. No, that was the London riots. Do you remember the London riots? Do you know what I'm going to say as well?
No.
There's that picture. The London riots, they must have been about 8-9 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
It's weird. It's like one of them things. It was like, did that actually happen?
Yeah, no, it was big. Was that when it happened in Birmingham and Manchester?
Yeah, a couple of places. And people would like ram raid Poundland or whatever. There's a picture.
That's where you're going to head, isn't it?
There's a still image of a woman legging it out of like Poundland or Pound Stretcher or something, and she's got like a bag. She's got like must be like a dozen bags of Haribo.
Oh, hey!
And she's like dropping them, and there's just this still image, and she's like got a hood up, and you can completely see her face, and she's just got all these like bags of sweets and
God.
And it's like, really,
Christmas come early.
I know. You could have grabbed anything. Could have gone to, I don't know, wherever, but no.
Straight to the Haribo.
God,
that's Gary, that, isn't it?
Probably, yeah, it would have been
That's what Gary would have done.
Yeah.
People who are rude to retail staff. Now, Stephen, they can't really. That's not really. I mean, let's be honest here. We should start doing these and calling people out for just being rubbish. I mean, yeah, I can't really argue against that, Stephen. There's no real reason to be rude. But fireworks for no reason.
Oh, now, well, I think we should save this for another episode because I have a lot to say about that.
I thought that was a good one. That's the best
it
one he
is.
said.
Yeah, we'll save that one. Talk next week. Talk about fireworks and why they're crap.
Oh, all right. Oh, crikey. All right. Oh, have I got to be the? It sounds to me like you already made a decision there.
Well, no,
I've got to fight the fireworks.
No,
corner?
I could carefully. I already do. I carefully already have weighed up the pros of fireworks, and yeah, they're just not.
All right, we'll do a fireworks special. Should we do that in November?
Well, we'll do it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good because then the algorithm will work and everything.
Yeah, exactly, and we might get five
we might get 10 views.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave it at that this week because we're actually out of time. We're 25 minutes.
Thanks if you're still here. If you started this podcast and you've gone, well,
yeah, and
I understand.
And you know what? If you like it, for whatever reason, give it a share.
I mean, we don't plan this. This is just completely made up as we go. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but
no, you'll never know. Behind the slick visage, behind this smooth with a duck on top of the water, and then underneath our little legs are paddling like mad.
Yeah.
You don't see it.
You don't see it. No.
So yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you want the audio version of this, go check it out on Spotify. There's one called Podbean. I knew you'd like that one.
Oh.
Podbean.
Podbean.
Plenty of it. We're still waiting to get listed on Apple Podcasts, so you're gonna have to wait if you're an Apple Podcast user.
We haven't managed to go through the quality control.
No, I think they've been checking it for quite a while now. So yeah,
it's still on episode 1.
Yeah, they're probably just thinking, oh god,
They're
no.
probably all fans of electric scooters. Yeah.
We'll get the old Apple cold shoulder.
Podbean,
I know.
Bean.
Right, anyway.
Oh dear.
See you or
I see
speak to you next week.